Get ready to make your new favorite cornbread for Thanksgiving and beyond. It has cheese, it has peppers, it has fire roasted peppers, it has everything you want in a perfectly tender and delicious but flavor forward cornbread. Maybe on your Thanksgiving table, or maybe just any weeknight. Let's make some. Cornbread isn't maybe traditional for everyone, but for some people it's very traditional around Thanksgiving. And I decided why not turn up the flavor and add a few other elements because it goes with my overall meal this year, which you can find all the components on my website, to my wonderful meal, including this brown butter cornbread. So we're gonna start by browning the butter, which as you know, is when the milk solids actually start to turn brown and they get a flavor that's nutty and toasted and just a depth that you can't mimic. So I'm gonna start by melting it, and then it's gonna be foamy, and then it's gonna just all at once turn brown and smell amazing. I'm just pulling this off. It has the most beautiful aroma. It's a special thing. Do you see all those brown bits on the bottom? That's what turns and has an amazing flavor. You can see it gets a nice amber color to it. So I want that to cool just slightly as we start our cornbread base, which is pretty simple. We have our cornmeal. We're gonna put that right in here. We have our all-purpose flour. This is just to offset it and give it the right texture. We have, of course, some baking powder to give it lift. And then we're gonna, of course, put in some salt because you want it to make sure it's well seasoned. And we're just gonna mix that together. And once that's mixed, we can just really get ready our wet ingredients. Now you can do this any way you like. I like to break my eggs right into the buttermilk because from here, we're just gonna whisk them and make sure that they're well combined. I think always making sure your eggs are combined before throwing them in something, just make sure they more evenly combine into it. So if you whisk them right into your buttermilk, which has that, I love buttermilk, it has that tanginess. It's so good in cornbread. We're gonna just pour that right here in the center. And then we're gonna put in, which I know if you're a traditionalist with cornbread, you don't like sweetener maybe, but we're gonna put in some honey. Now, oftentimes I'll use sugar, and the best thing is if you wanna use sugar, you can just, instead of this honey, replace the same amount of sugar and add it with the dry ingredients. Or if you're gonna use honey, you put it right in here with the wet ingredients. It really whisks quickly, and I think you can see how this is such an easy one to make. You know, honestly, while your turkey is cooling Thanksgiving Day, you can put this together and put it in the oven, and by the time everything's ready, this will be ready too. So now I'm gonna get ready. I have my jalapeños ready, and now I'm doing some roasted red peppers, which if you don't know, you can buy roasted red peppers. They're fire roasted, meaning they have that beautiful char flavor on them. And then they are skinned for you, put in a jar, you can buy them, you can do your own at home, but I find that sometimes having these shortcuts, it's like, why mess up your stovetop if you're gonna do it, or your broiler? You can just buy them in a jar, have them ready to go whenever you want them. And what they do is they add immense flavor to this, which is what I love. So we have jalapeños. Again, if you don't like spice, leave the jalapeños out. The roasted red peppers are a sweet pepper, they're a bell pepper, so they don't have spice. And I like the color actually even too, and we're gonna add in some cheddar. I have the recipe written for if you wanna do a pepper jack, you can do that, or a cheddar. Personally, I think it just depends on what you want. If you wanna, again, not have that spice, you put in the cheddar or whatever you have on hand too. Make a recipe work for you. And then of course, this browned butter. Look at that, beautiful, going right in. And you just wanna fold everything together at this point. You don't wanna over mix it, and that's why I like to fold. Make sure that cheese gets worked in. I like to hand grate the cheese from a block of cheese. I think the texture is always better. I think the flavor actually is better. You don't have any of those preservatives put on the outside. But you see how beautiful that is and comes together so quick. It's absolutely perfect. So I'm gonna grab my pan that I already have greased, and we're gonna just pour it right in. And this is, you could do this in a cast iron skillet too if you wanted to. But for this, I think it's just as easy to do it right into here, and then you can cut it into squares. You know, if you haven't had cornbread for Thanksgiving, this is your chance to try it. And especially with the lineup I've created for this year's menu, you're gonna see it with a delicious brined cowboy butter turkey, a smoky stuffing. All these just go together so well. The cornbread, it's a match made in heaven. So I'm gonna spread out into an even layer. We're gonna bake it, and we are gonna try this. I pulled this out when it was nice and golden brown. It bounced back in the middle. You can do the skewer test too. I let it cool just a little bit here before I cut it. You know, what's beautiful about cornbread? It goes with almost anything. You know, if you don't wanna make this for Thanksgiving, that's fine. Make it with your favorite chili. There's nothing wrong with that. I like nice big pieces because why not? Now, on Thanksgiving Day, maybe you're gonna wanna be cut a little bit smaller, which you can totally do kind of whatever works for you. I personally like what I'm smelling right now, and I wish you could smell it because you're getting that roasted pepper, you're getting the jalapeno in it, you're just kind of getting everything. And look at this when it comes out. Guys, there is nothing wrong with it. Do you see the pockets of melted cheese, by the way? I mean, come on, right? It just looks good. I promise you it smells good. You could drizzle hot honey on this if you wanted to. You could put butter all over it, but honestly. It's so tender. Still very hot, but absolutely delicious. The pockets of cheese, they just make this something special. The jalapeños are not hot spicy. They actually really just have a good flavor and maybe just a hint of undertone of spice. And then the roasted red pepper just kind of like comes in saying, hey, I'm here with that great fire roasted flavor. That's a great cornbread for any time. It's especially great with my Thanksgiving spread with a cowboy roasted turkey, delicious smoky and cheesy stuffing. This is gonna complement any Thanksgiving table. And I hope you agree and share this video around so other people can see how easy and fun good food is to make, especially around the holidays when we're all gathering, enjoying each other's company, and just loving on each other. That's what it's all about. So check my website, wyseguide.com, for this recipe and everything else you need for a glorious Thanksgiving meal. Happy Thanksgiving.